Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here today. It's a very special day um, for not only the city but for this neighborhood, and we're running a little bit behind. The mayor was, I guess, running behind. But we're going to go ahead and get the program started because I know there's a lot of excitement in the community, and we want to thank the bank and all our partners for being here today. So to start us off, we're going to have Broderick Daniels with Southern Bancorp to sing the national anthem.
Everyone stand, please. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Broderick. I want to recognize some very important people that are here, and you'll hear from some of them on the program, but City Director Joan Adcock, City Director Virgil Miller, City Director Antoine Phillips, City Director Kathy Webb, City Director Dean Compuris, and City Director Ken Richardson, and of course we'll hear from the mayor. Also we have State Representative Denise Ennett here with us today, and State Senator Leonard Chesterfield. So thank you all for being here today. Next, one of the things that we've been very intentional about is making sure that we do business with diverse companies. And so we're very excited that the company that did this project was a minority-owned company, and the owner is Dexter Doing. So Dexter.
Good morning. Oh my goodness, we're in our new building, and it's an exciting day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Much better, much better. I'm Dexter Doing. I'm president of Doing Construction Company, but really I'm only a representative. I'm a representative first of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and then I'm a representative of the people at Doing Construction Company that made this project happen. We have several of them here. Just raise your hands. I see Mason, Tanya, Angela, the superintendent. I don't know if he's here or not, but on behalf of my company, I want to thank all of the city board of directors, Mayor Scott, Bruce, and others who entrusted us with this very important project. And is Major Dyer here? I think he's Assistant Chief Major Dyer. Is he here? I don't see him, but he was very instrumental and important in the success of this project. He made it clear to us on the first day that this is his building and that he is in charge of it. But then for 8 months or so, it became our building. And he accommodated us in every fashion possible to make the end results what you see. So I want to thank UAMS, Philander College, Southern Bancorp, and especially the city of Little Rock for allowing us to be of service to you. Thank you.
So next, we'll have, and it's not in his ward anymore because I had to redraw the boundaries, but Director Richardson, this was his vision for many, many years, and so thank you for your leadership, and City Director Ken Richardson.
Good morning. I want to thank Bruce. I want to thank my colleagues for being here. Mayor Scott and I had this running thing going back and forth. He says, Director Richardson is going to make some brief remarks about 12th Street corridor. That's an oxymoron at its best. There's nothing brief when I start talking about it. You know when you have your own kid, your baby, you say this is Director Richardson's baby. I said, man, don't tell everybody I'm an unwed parent. I'm an unwed father, single father. But you know, when you have a baby and you want to tell people everything that they don't want to hear about that child, that's your child. This is my child. While it has been my vision, and Bruce, it's hard to believe I came to you with this back in August of 2008. And Bruce issued me one challenge. He said, Director Richardson, the city will commit funding if you get some matching funding to help hire contractors and consultants to help us move the community in the planning process. And those supporters were UAMS through Vice Chancellor Tom Butler and Central Arkansas Library System through Bobby Roberts under his leadership at that time. They provided matching funding. Some of them increased their funding so we can hire consultants to take the community through a community-wide planning process. And while I may claim the vision, I don't claim the work. The work belongs to the people in the community. It belongs to some of the people that Dexter mentioned. Certainly belongs to Bruce. Because initially when I got elected, there was $2.5 million, Dean, allocated for a Midtown Police substation. And a typical substation is 12,500 square feet. We've tripled that. I came through Bruce with my planning process and said, Bruce, the community wants to have a mixed-use facility. So this police station doesn't become an island in the community. It doesn't just become associated with negative things that you only come in here if you're doing wrong or come and talk about wrong. We want people to feel good about it, feel that they're a part of it so we can enhance our community-police relationships. And I think it's done a wonderful job in doing that. From the beginning, Bruce, when we first met back there in that trailer, you and the architects and I, when we were talking about hiring security, I said, no, let's don't hire police. Let's hire people in the community to help tear the building down so they would take ownership of this. They would protect it themselves. Bruce is 15 years. That's a mighty long time. I want to acknowledge Bruce. He's worked hard and many, many times getting me the extra money that we need to have this facility, this wonderful, wonderful facility. This is a cake, a beautiful cake. Today's ceremony is the icing without cake. I can eat cake, but I'd love to have icing, especially if it's the right flavored icing. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. This is a representation of the community. And I think what made this unique, Joan, was this is one of the planning processes. Normally when the city engages, or any entity engages in the planning process, they do something to, for, or at you. This we did with you. The community told us what they wanted to have happen, and we, Bruce, I think we acknowledged it. I think we did a wonderful job of meeting their requests. And one of the things they said, we do not want to have a substation, a police substation and substation alone in this facility. Because we think it sends the wrong message about the perception and reality of crime and safety in this community, and we did a wonderful job. This is the only station that doesn't have substation in front of it, Virgil. Whether the Northwest substation, whether the Southwest substation. This is called a 12th Street station because we're going to have some other wonderful entities in this particular building talking to us today about what supportive services they're offering to help us cure the social ills. Mayor, I told you, brief remarks at 12th Street, talking about my little baby. This location has fun and not so fun memories for me. When I was in high school, anybody remember Giggles? There used to be a skating rink called Giggles. When I was in high school, Mayor, when I moved back here to do gang intervention work with Reverend Robinson and Pastor Bell over at BCD, this place was the site of a lot of numerous street-based crisis intervention sessions, crisis resolution sessions, where we prevented some actual violence from happening in our community by sitting those people down and having them talk through the difference rather than shoot to them. And gangs in of itself is really, really crazy in Little Rock because not only do you have Bloods against Crip, one of my former YIP coordinators at Camp Aldersgate, Mark will tell you we had Bloods against Blood within 20-block area, in this area right here. We were fortunate enough to have Chief Stewart at the time work with us to help us engage the community on a community-wide equal basis. Everybody had a place at the table. And to my colleagues, I want to challenge you guys to say that there are many parts of Little Rock, similar to this part of Little Rock, that have a level of sophistication, education, and maturation that we don't tap into to our detriment. Get them a place at the table, get them the resources. Bruce, I want to thank you. I want to thank my colleagues. And I said sad joy, another oxymoron for me, Mayor, is this is not Ward 2 anymore. I'll say only was at the same time. But a lot of people, Director Miller, didn't realize that the 12th Street boundaries included parts of Ward 1. So I leave today with a sad joy, knowing the sadness of it's not in Ward 2 anymore, but the happiness is that the leadership that we're going to have representing you guys is wonderful leadership. He's somebody who told me he's not going to take offense to my ongoing involvement with my baby. He's not going to take it as war politics, and we've agreed to work together to continue to work. There's a lot more to do, and I think that with Southern Bancorp being here today, you guys will be the magnet for the private sector investment that we need in areas like this. You guys are going to be the magnets. You're providing supportive services that's needed in this community and it shows a commitment to this community, which will make it easier for you, Virgil, you and your banking background, to bring more money in here for private sector investment. I thank you guys for being here. God, peace, and blessings, everyone. I'm so sorry, Bruce. I had to do this, and I think it's in part because of this building. We didn't have Director Phillips any data or any reporting of this, but 13 years ago, 12th Street Corridor won the Arkansas Planning Association 2010 Achievement in Urban Design Award. And I think part of that was because of how we had planned on developing this building as an anchor for ongoing development in this part of our community. For those who don't know, the eastern boundary is 12th Street, Virgil is Woodrow, northern boundary is 630, southern boundary is 16th Street, western boundary is University. Those boundaries are firm, but they're not locked. You can come in and out, and we're working to expand the work in other places of this community. And Reverend Ross, I want to thank you for everything you've taught me, everything you've done for this community, both from an infrastructure standpoint and recognizing the need for human capital revitalization as well. Combining those, that's one of the ways we're going to address really public safety. Chief, thank you here. Chief Hubbard, thank you for being here. And I want to thank all of you guys. This is my baby. I know I'm just talking, Mayor. I'm talking about my baby. And your baby's not that cute. Your baby doesn't look like, you know, you tell people things about your child and they don't want to hear, they just pretend like they're interested. Yeah, when she quit talking about this kid out her, yeah, she can do 15 jump ropes and 35 backflips. And okay, I've heard that about 19 times. God, peace, and blessings to you guys for being here. 13 years ago, Bruce, we won this award. 13 years ago, Arkansas Planning Association. We won it not because of Director Richard, but because of the community. People who lived here, who volunteered their time, their effort, and their expertise to tell us what need to happen in their community, in our community. And I think what we're doing here today will have implications throughout the city. We can take the same approach, Dean, and identify similar situated parts of the city of Little Rock. We have to be honest. If we're going to give a proper diagnosis or a proper prescription, we have to have a proper diagnosis of the problem. There are other similar situated parts of Little Rock that are suffering from some of the social ills that this area has been suffering from. We need to take and identify Bruce funding, Mayor funding, and support to bring that same kind of will to other parts of the city of Little Rock that need this kind of help. Thank you very much.
I actually think Director Richardson should be in the pulpit tomorrow. It's somewhere. I do want to recognize Fire Chief Delphon Hubbard and Police Chief Heath Helton that's here today, and also Tim Yellington, who was the project architect. Tim, raise your hand. Thank you for your great work. And at this point, now that we have switched wards, and 12th Street is in Ward 1, I want to introduce City Director Virgil Miller.
Thanks, Bruce, and I don't know what to say after Ken, but I will say I'm very proud to be here. And Ward 1 is a big ward. And what is key to a lot of this ward's success, quite frankly, is the work that Reverend William Robinson and BCD had started years and years and years ago. Give them a hand. And what makes a strong neighborhood is strong individuals and people getting involved. Ward 1 has a lot of neighborhoods. Love, Goodwill, this is Hope, Midtown, Meadowbrook, South End, Apple Blossom and College Station. What you have done here today, what's happened right here on 12th Street is an example of what can be done all over the city and all over in Ward 1. We need people to get involved. We need a private-public partnership, and that's exactly what we've seen here. I'm very proud of this. Ken, I'm going to take this baton, and I'm going to run with it, and I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
And now I'd like to introduce the Honorable Frank Scott, Jr., Mayor of the
Well, there's not a lot to be said, and I promise not to talk about Ken's baby, that he's helped grow to be 13 years of age. But I think today is really fitting that we discuss inheritance, transformation, and stewardship. As a mayor, you inherit a lot of things, good, bad, and ugly. I can tell you that this 12th Street substation, I remember walking in here some years ago as a banker, seeing the substation to my left and seeing an empty space to my right. And it took a lot of dedication and funding and perseverance from City Director Ken Richardson and all the members of the Little Rock Board of Directors to make certain that we filled this space, but ensure that this space will be filled with substance, an understanding of this community. I think we must understand what purpose means. See, purpose is not about what happened, it's about why it happened. See, we know that 12th Street means many different things across this city, but it was this city that said that we were going to persevere. We were going to be intentional about making certain that we don't reverse things, but we transform this area. This city board of directors and the administration made certain that they would transform, but it doesn't happen solely with the city. It takes anchoring institutions like a Darren Williams and Southern Bancorp, Chancellor Cam Patterson and UAMS, and Philander Smith College, because they took the call to action and put their money where their mouth was, that they were going to listen to leadership to transform this area. See, Reverend William Robinson is my great uncle, and he has been a labor of love for the 12th Street area, and I think it's befitting that we're celebrating his 90th birthday this week. See, 90 years of labor for the people, 90 years of being a voice for the voiceless, and being intentional even when people got pissed at him. He didn't care about being pissed because he was caring about the people. And that's exactly what's going on with City Director Ken Richardson, our City Board of Directors, but you also have a great Ward 1 director right now, and Virgil Miller, and he is going to make certain that we continue to have more vibrancy in this area, because we are throwing away the past, focusing on the future, and being intentional. And sometimes when you're intentional, you get on some people's nerves. But guess what? Many people have been dealing with other nerves because folks won't paying attention to them. And that's why we are all here today. I say thank you to the public-private partnership. I say thank you, City Director Joan Adcock, Virgil Miller, Antoine Phillips, Kathy Webb, Dean Compuris, and all the others, and Ken Richardson, of course. Thank you. This is for the people.
Thank you, Mayor. the mayor mentioned Chancellor Cam Patterson. Would you please stand and let's acknowledge him for being here? And also, somebody that's not on the program but has been a stalwart in this area is Sherman Tate. Sherman, thank you for being here. At this time, I'd like to call Dr. Carmen Harden, Chair of the Department of Criminal Justice, Philander Smith College.
To Mayor Scott, special guest, my husband Anwar, my daughter Amaya, my extended family members, and to the special community members who are here today to join us on this special occasion. Before I begin, I want us to reflect on the comments that were made prior to me arriving to this space, because I think it's going to all come together. It was in 2014 that I was teaching and working and completing my dissertation, and I was ready to conduct interviews in this community with relative caregivers. And I wanted to learn more about their experiences and how they interface with policymakers. And so at that time, what I'd noticed about grandparents in my family, and I attended church right up the street at Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, and in my church community, that they were having to raise their grandchildren because of death, neglect, it could be because of health or incarceration. And they were making a positive impact. However, they said we need more resources. And so later on, I learned that in around 2014, that there was also a vision to partner with Philander Smith College. So with that, to establish this additional location. So in 2016, our worlds collide with the help of Mr. Sherman Tate, who's here today, who's like a second father to me, to introduce me again to Philander Smith College, where my mother graduated from. And with that, I worked to establish with my colleagues the Department of Criminal Justice in 2016, and I had this 2015 dissertation in hand, where relative caregivers in this community said we need a resource center. So throughout the years until today, I started to wonder, how am I going to give this recommendation from my dissertation back to the people of this community? And I also had this echo in my head of one of the relative caregivers that said, we need people like you to go off and get an education, and then once you receive it, to come back to this community and implement policy change. So today, I say, delay is not denial. We are back here in this community in 2023 to say to this community, here is your community resource center with the establishment of the Philander Smith College Community Engagement Center. I want to thank the City of Little Rock. I also want to thank Philander Smith College's representatives, past and present, for working with me and believing in the Department of Criminal Justice, the Department of Social Justice, to bring this vision to life. This space will not just be used for classroom space, it will be used for research, discussion of policy options to address social issues within this community, launch volunteerism and internships for our students, and to once again provide the resources needed. So I look forward to seeing what the future holds as we work together to be the change. Thank you.
Next, representing UAMS, we will have Dr. Stephanie Garner.
Thank you so much. You may be wondering why Chancellor Patterson's not up here, is why I'm here. I think it's because when asked to speak, Dr. Patterson knew my heart and soul. Since so many of the projects in this neighborhood, he wanted me to have the opportunity to speak. But let me say, none of this can happen without the support of the Chancellor, and I'm grateful for Cam's support. So thank you so much, Dr. Patterson. Also thanks to Mayor Scott, Director Richardson, Director Miller, Director Harden, City Manager Moore, and so many others, all of our 12th Street partners and our 12th Street neighbors. We are super excited about UAMS's role within this station. UAMS's mission is to improve health, health care, and well-being in Arkansas, and that is never more important than it is in our very own neighborhood. As we've listened to this community, one of the things that we've heard is, let's reimagine this place to be a place that aligns our goal of health with healthy eating and habits that ultimately will result in better overall outcomes. We are so proud to work with our partners, Philander Smith, also the City of Little Rock, and Southern Bancorp to open this center. We know that a lack of access to fresh, healthy food is a factor in health disparities, including obesity and chronic conditions like high blood pressure and heart disease. And our ultimate goal is to see a difference in the impact in those diseases. Our community cafe right in the front of this building will be open 5 days a week from 9 to 2 with coffee and lunch items, and we're hoping to be able to expand that menu over time. We're also hoping to work with farmers in the community to have fresh produce available within this space. And if you tour the front area, you'll also see over tucked in the corner a demo area where our culinary medicine students and faculty will be giving demonstrations about how to take that produce and make healthy food. We do hope that this becomes not only a place to get good food, but also a place that's safe, friendly, and a good place for people within the community to gather. I am very proud of the other projects. Just a half a block away, our 12th Street Health and Wellness Center just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. We're proud, yes, we're very excited. If you ever want a tour of that space, all you have to do is contact someone at UAMS and we will make sure that happens for you. We are very proud of it. We're also proud of our partnership with Southern Bancorp in helping our employees access home ownership, learning more about financial planning to make that a possibility. And then finally, if just a few blocks away off Jonesboro, if you haven't seen it, please drive by there. There's a construction of a new Child Development Center, UAMS Child Development Center, which we believe will be opening around March 1st. So thank you all for this, being able to participate in what is a very exciting day for UAMS and for this community.
One more quick thing about my baby, y'all. Dean, this is Bruce. This is the first building that's been constructed based on form-based zoning, with actual 12th Street plan constructed to help develop the development of this building. So this is the first time, Bruce, the city has ever used form-based zoning to build a building. And I do believe at that time we may have debates about this. I think this was the first LEED certified silver energy efficient building. So a lot of those things were taken into consideration. I won't say anything else about my baby anymore, guys. That's it. But you guys should know this: energy efficient, first form-based zone building.
That's accurate. Next, we'll have Susanna Marshall, Arkansas State Bank Commissioner.
Thank you. Good morning. I am so honored to be here today. And when Darren called a couple of days ago and asked if I would speak, I was so prideful to be able to share this time with you. And I want to let you know I have had the wonderful opportunity for my career of working with Southern. And whether it's at the stockholder level, the board of directors, the management team, and every single employee in this company, their mission and their focus is the same from top to bottom. And that is such a testament to the type of organization they have and the type of partner that you're having here in the 12th Street corridor with Southern Bancorp. You know, the institution has a long history, but for the last 30 years, they have really honed in on that focus of serving the communities and serving the areas in which they do business. It makes me so proud as the bank commissioner to have Southern Bancorp headquartered here in Arkansas. They stand at over $2.5 billion in total assets today. They're one of our top largest institutions headquartered in the state. They have 50 branches in Arkansas and Mississippi, whether it's the tip of northeast Arkansas all the way down to the corner of Mississippi River, all the way west to Arkadelphia, and now here in central Arkansas at the 12th Street corridor. They are going to expand and grow and continue to provide excellent service in every community in which they operate. You know, one of the things that they do well at the core of their mission is serving those underserved communities. Oftentimes, there are communities, we all know them, where there is not a financial institution present, or maybe not a lot of financial service options. That's where Southern wants to be. That's where they continue to focus and spread their wings and develop those communities. When we have that, when we have financial institution presence that is helping those individuals serve their customers, help develop economic opportunities, we're going to have prosperity, not just as a community, but as a state and as a country. And so I'm so proud of their focus on that. Southern is known as a community development financial institution, or a CDFI. There's not that many of them in this country, but they are the leader. And when I travel this country and I get an opportunity to meet with my counterparts and visit other states and learn about their banking industries in those states, I can assure you, everyone knows who Southern Bancorp is. And that's another reason I'm so proud of what they do. And they're going to continue to build on that legacy. Lastly, I'll close with, they have a lot of, I would say, catchphrases here at Southern. Whether it's helping individuals build economic wealth, helping them change their lives, helping them create opportunities, all of those things are true about Southern. But the focus and the commitment on service is key. So congratulations, best wishes, and I look forward to seeing what Southern has to do next and helping support the 12th Street corridor. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I went to school, I went to college in Arkadelphia, and that's where I learned about Southern and their community focus. And so it is so full circle for me that now, as city manager, they're here in Little Rock, and so it's very special. So I now want to introduce the CEO of Southern Bancorp, my good friend Darren Williams.
Thank you, Bruce. They say that some people can't hear in the back, so I'm going to talk real loud. I'm a preacher's kid and a former politician, and I got a crowd here. I don't want to be like Ken, but I might be. Feels like this is my baby also. Southern Bancorp is proud to be in the 12th Street corridor. Like many of the folks you heard talk, I grew up in this community, so I'm proud to be back here with this institution. But before I go into my remarks, a lot's been said about Reverend Robinson, but I want to add my accolades because he has been really the catalyst to the growth and development in the 12th Street corridor. And today is his birthday. You guys have been sitting a while. I want you stay seated, Reverend Robinson. I want everybody to stand up with me, and I want you together with me say happy birthday, Reverend Robinson. Hey, Ken and I talk so long we sing. We're just going to say it together. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Reverend Robinson. Woo. Now we've got a cake over there for Reverend Robinson. You guys can have some too when it's over. We'll cut it. When we opened this branch, Reverend Robinson said he wanted to be the first customer. And so we called him when we opened the branch. We said, Reverend Robinson, it's time to bring us your money. And he was the first customer of this branch for Southern Bancorp. Reverend Robinson, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I'm not that bright, but I'm smart enough to have the regulators with me. Susanna, thank you for being here. We couldn't do anything unless we get good ratings. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for those kind words. Make sure they flow through to the exam. I also want to acknowledge several of our board members who are present. Sherman Tate has been mentioned. Sherman Tate chairs our bank board. Sherman, wave your hand, stand up. Thank you. Dr. Glenn Jones, who's chair of the holding company. Glenn's in the back. Glenn. Jim Franks is over in the corner of the green shirt, Jim. Mike Montgomery somewhere. There's Mike in the back. Mike, wave your hand. Another board member. And last but not least, Reverend Robinson's grandson, Darrell Swinton, my friend since T-ball. Have I missed a board member? I also want to make sure I don't miss a board member, especially, did the compensation chair come in? I don't think she made it. I want to make sure I didn't miss her. Now I want to recognize a former board member because he is really instrumental in part of the reason we're here. Herman Davenport, if you're there, raise your hand. Herman is a former board member of Southern Bancorp. Herman actually was here when the organization was founded. So see, Southern was founded in the mid-1980s by then Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton. And he modeled this bank after a bank called South Shore Bank on the south side of Chicago, an economically depressed community that had been redlined, had not intentionally not loaned money to black people. And a number of folks got together in Chicago and said, we want to put a bank in the community to serve the entire community. Sometime later, Governor Clinton got wind of what was happening and the growth and development that was happening in that community. And he asked the folks from Chicago to come to Arkansas and help start Southern Development Bank Corporation. With the Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation and the Walmart and the Walton Family Foundation and others, Southern Bancorp was started with about $10 million in about mid-1980s. And today, as the Senator said, we've grown to 56 locations throughout Arkansas, Mississippi, $2.5 billion in assets, and over 500 employees. They all have on those community core shirts. Thank them as well. So when Bill Clinton becomes President Clinton, his experience with Shore Bank with Southern is what led him to create the Community Development Financial Institution Fund at the Department of Treasury. Because it costs more, it's more difficult to work in underserved areas. Treasury supports us through providing grants and assistance so we can locate places like the 12th Street Corridor. And so one of the first pieces of legislation he passed as president was the Regal Act, which had the CDFI fund legislation to support CDFIs. Today, there are about 1,500 CDFIs across America. And as has been said, we are one of the leading CDFIs across America. We are so proud to be right here in the 12th Street Corridor. Most of our work has been in rural Arkansas and rural Mississippi. This is our first urban branch, but this is not our last branch in Little Rock. I trust you that. We have a number of community partners who've been supportive, and I want to acknowledge one person who desperately wanted to be here, but his flight got delayed in Washington, D.C., and that's Congressman French Hill. He texted me this morning at 7:30, said he got up at 4 o'clock to be here, but he's on the flight, so I'm not sure where he is. He's trying to get here, but I want to make sure that you knew that he's an ardent supporter of Southern Bancorp and CDFIs. In fact, he's a former banker, and he was an actual former member of the CDFI advisory board when he was a banker. So we have tremendous support, broad bipartisan support at CDFIs. Both Republicans and Democrats support us. I was in D.C. Just last week, meeting with our delegation. Both Senator Cotton and Senator Bozeman committed to joining the CDFI Senate caucus, the bipartisan caucus of Democrats and Republicans. In Congress, they don't agree about anything. But the one thing they do agree about is about the CDFI space, because they know that we're here to create economic opportunity. Southern has three really wealth-building pillars. Everything we do focuses on building wealth. So Pew has a study that says 70% of the people born into poverty never make it out. It becomes multi-generational. Your grandma was poor, your mom's poor, you got a 70% chance of also growing up in poverty. But Pew studied the 30% of the people who made it out of poverty. What was unique about that 30%? What was unique is they all had some form of assets. They had a home. They took the equity out of that home, sent a kid to college, started a small business. And so we're about building wealth. Everything we do in this building, in this branch, and across our market is about building wealth. So we focus on homeownership, on job creation, and empowering people to save and accumulate assets. That's what you're going to see here at this branch. Now, we're unique. So we're not just a bank. So we have three entities: the holding company of the bank and a nonprofit loan fund. Provides us a lot of flexibility to help and support. So in this location, it's not just about taking your deposits and making loans, but it's also about a significant amount of financial education. And so we're going to have financial education courses. We have HUD-certified homebuyer counselors. We're going to work with this community to help them thrive and grow and develop and help them reach the goals they want to reach. Because that's what we do. That's who we are. And we're, again, very, very proud to be here. Caleb Walker, are you here? He may be outside working. Caleb was way in the back. So Caleb is our branch manager. Wave, Caleb. That's Caleb. I want y'all to see him. Because as a bank, it's important we have customers. I need everyone here to go back and see Caleb before you leave and open up an account. We need your deposits and we need your loans. Don't just clap, go see him. Now, this is really just a ribbon cutting. It went a little longer. I appreciate such a large crowd. But we're going to have a big party outside. So I know it's hot, but when you leave here, please go outside. We've got 10 community partners. We've got radio remotes. We've got all kind of prizes. And when a bank does prizes, you know what it is? It's money. We've got a lot of money prizes. There's other prizes out there. So please go out there and make sure you socialize and have a good time. We've got a lot of things going on. I want to thank my good friend, Bruce Moore, my good friend, Kenneth Richardson, because really these two made this possible. Ken and I have been talking about this for decades. And Southern's proud to be here. We're proud of the partners. We have a long-time partnership with Philander Smith College. We've been having Philander Smith interns at our bank for years. You heard our partnership with UAMS, not just about helping their employees become homeowners, but that children's center they're building, that's a new market tax credit program that Southern's doing in partnership with UAMS. So we're proud. We're not just here, just have a bank here. We've been working here before we got here. We were working in this community. We've been making home loans and supporting this community, and we're proud now to have a physical presence. And I need everyone again to go see Caleb. Thank you guys. Bruce, thank you so much.
think you might need to be in the pulpit tomorrow too. I mean, you know, as we get ready for the ribbon cutting, as I think about this building, and again, we opened it in 2014, we always knew we wanted partnerships. And when I've got a 16-year-old son, Luke, and when he and his friends come in here, and I hope it's not on the police component of it, but you know, they'll walk in here and maybe, you know, they'll go to the UAMS area and say, oh, well, you know, I might want to go to medical school like Dr. Compuris. And then they'll go to the Philander area and say, okay, I might want to be a college professor. And then they'll go to Southern and say, well, maybe I'll be a banker one day. And that's what this is about. This is about this community. And so this is a wonderful dream that has come true. And I want to thank, again, the City Board of Directors and the mayor for ensuring that we got this done. And it's going to be a fabulous day, and I hope the community enjoys it. And at this point, we'll come up here and all the program participants can come up and we'll cut the ribbon.